Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're working on a Samsung i337, also known as the AT&T Galaxy S4. Now this was a customer's phone that came in with no power. According to the customer, after what they described as a minor drop in the phone, it just went completely dead and it won't power back on. Also, there's no response from the battery when we plug it into the charger. We also tested and confirmed that the battery, charge port, and LCD are fully functional to ensure that we don't have a blank LCD issue. We connected the phone to a power supply and observed that the phone is not pulling any power whatsoever, so we determined that the best course of action is to replace the power IC chip. So we're going to start out by putting a small amount of flux on the power IC chip, which is also referred to as PM8917. Then, using the hot air gun, we are going to apply heat directly over the chip with an even flow, and at this point we're just holding the tweezers in place, waiting to pull the chip straight up and out when ready. You want to make sure that all the balls underneath the chip have melted before pulling the chip off. What I like to look for is the little dance that the chip does when all the solder balls have melted. If you look closely, you will see that the chip is just ever so slightly moving around from the hot air that is flowing under it. Remember, you shouldn't have to use any force to remove the chip. If you pull and the chip does not come up very easily, then more heat is needed. Now we are going to take a small piece of solder wick to clean the pads. Using the hot air gun and the desoldering wick, we are going to very gently clean the area and remove the excess solder off the pads. It is very easy for the flow to desolder other capacitors near the area, so it is important that you try to use the correct amount of heat and just get in and out as quickly as possible. Now, using some no clean liquid flux, I'm cleaning the area to get it ready for the new IC replacement. It is very important that you make a mental note on the orientation of the chip you're removing so that you know exactly which way to reinstall the new one. You can now place the new chip and line it up as closely as possible. I usually like to apply a little heat to keep the chip in place first, then apply some flux and heat it again to finish the job. I usually like to give the chip a very small nudge once I know the balls have melted and watch the chip come right back into place. This usually helps confirm to me that the balls are melted and sticking to the chip well. Now, using a brush and 99% alcohol, clean the board and try to get as much of the flux off as you can. Remember, you will never be able to remove all the flux 100% unless you run the board through an ultrasonic cleaner. Although in my experience, a little bit of flux doesn't usually hurt anything if cleaned properly. Now we are going to pop the board into our tested LCD and see if we can get it to power up. And as you can see, the phone has turned on and appears to be fully functional. Just be sure to perform a complete diagnostic test of all functions to make sure everything works perfectly.